Okay, so we're practicing with adding, right? We're adding, and these are rational expressions, so we need to have a least common multiple, all right, or a denominator, right? Our denominator needs to be the same, okay? So I'm just going to multiply these together, all right? So I get m squared, n squared for my denominator, okay? And then I'm going to multiply this guy, so I've got 3 times n, and then I'll multiply that guy. So I've got 4, and it's plus 4m squared n, right? Okay, and then now I've got, there's really, I've got, now I can factor out a common, both of these have an n, right? I could factor out. So I could say, well, this is n, right? If I divide this by n, right, 3n plus 4m squared n all over n, right? That's the common factor. We can divide that one. Just write it sideways. So n divided by n is 1, so I just have the 3. And then plus, and then that divides out with that, and so I have 4m squared. So 3 plus 4m squared over m squared n squared. All right? So this n could divide out with one of those. All right, so my final answer here would be 3 plus 4m squared all over m squared, n. All right. And then now I have the next one. I have x times y, so that's my least common denominator, so it'll be xy. And then so what I've got here is I've got 4y plus 6x, right, all over x plus y. And there's nothing really I can do with that. These are both even, right, so I could factor out a 2. I could divide both of these by 2, and I'll bring that 2 in front. 4 divided by 2 is 2, so that would be 2y plus, and then 6 divided by 2 is 3, so that would be 3x, and the 2 in front. But I still can't divide. I don't have a factor in my denominator, so there's nothing I can, that doesn't really do much for me. All right. So now here, if I want to multiply these together, I'll just say, okay, x times y, or x plus y, is my times x minus y is my denominator, right? The least common multiple has to have all the factors, all right? And then I'll just go across here, so I get 3x times x minus y, and then I'll cross here, so I have plus 5 times x plus y. All right. And then now I can use my distributive property, right? So I can say that would be 3x squared, right? X times x is x squared minus 3xy, and then plus 5x plus 5y, if I distribute this. All over, and then this would be, I'll go ahead and just leave it like that. X, well, you might have noticed this pattern now. If I were to FOIL this, right, if I do x, right, if I put these in the box, if I multiply this, I've got x plus y times x minus y. Notice what happens is x times x is x squared, right? When I multiply these first two, I get x squared. And then when I multiply these, I get a positive xy, and then here, going down, I get a negative xy. Okay, and then those add up to 0, right? Those add up to 0, so they go away. And then what's left is negative y times y is y squared, so minus y squared. And that's all you can do with that one. All right, and so now we've got this here. I've got, again, my least common denominator is going to be 3x plus y times xy. All right? Or that actually might not be my least common denominator, but it's a common denominator. And so now I'll go ahead and multiply across, so I get 5xy minus, because of this minus, and then 2, and this is a binomial, so it'll be 2 times the whole thing, 3 plus 3x plus y. Okay. And so I get 5xy on the top, and then I'm going to distribute, all right? So that would be minus 2 times 3 is 6x, and then now negative 2 times y would be negative 2y, all over, all right? And then if I were to multiply this together, right, that would be 3, right? 3 times 1 is 3, and then x times x is x squared, and then I've got a y, and then now I'll multiply times this one, so that would be positive x, and then I've got y times y, so that would be y squared. Okay, and then there's a way you can use STOR to check to see if you did it right. Okay, these, you can see, these are just a pain in the neck, and they take a lot of time, and there's a lot of places where you can make a mistake. So it is good to be able to use STOR to check your answer, especially if it's a multiple choice question. If it's a multiple choice question, you could try them all using STOR. You don't have to do any of the work. Just try to use STOR to see if your answer is right. So, but we did this work, and so we're thinking, let's say we're taking our test, and we think this is the answer, and we want to check and see if that is equal to that. All right, so I have x's and y's, so I'm going to store a value for x and a value for y. And I need to pick a number that is greater than 2. Okay, oops, why did I do that? All right, so I'm going to do pick a number, any number that is bigger than 2. So I'll go ahead and I'll pick 3, and I'm going to store it in x because I have an x, right? I also have y, so I'm going to take 6, and I'm going to store it in y. And y is alpha. It's hard to see on this board. Where are my y's? I think it's this one. Yes. Okay, so 6, and I'm going to store it in y. All right? And then now I'm just going to type out these expressions just like they were, exactly like they are in the original problem. Okay, so let me find what I've got. So I've got 5 over, I'm just looking to see my paper so I don't have to keep going back and forth. Where did I put these? Here we go. Okay, so we've got 5 over 3x plus y. Oh, there we are. Okay, so 5 over 3x plus y. So alpha y equals, I've got my fraction, and then now I've got 5 over 3x plus y, 3x plus y, alpha 1, okay? I'm going to arrow over, okay, and that I'm going to subtract 2, so this fraction, so alpha y equals, enter, and then I've got 2 over xy, x times y. So that is my original problem, right? You can see that right there. And then I'm going to hit enter, and I get a number, all right? Now, if we did it correctly, all right, if we added these correctly, this answer here, the 5xy minus 6x minus 2y, so let's see if I can remember that. Maybe I'll write it down on paper. So I've got 5xy minus 6x minus 2y is my numerator. So let's type that in. So that is a fraction. So hit enter. And then I'm going to put 5x alpha 1. So I get the y, 5xy minus 6x. Oh, I hope this is going to be right after all this work. All right, that's my numerator. Okay. And then my denominator is 3x squared y plus xy squared. So 3x squared y, 3x squared times y, right, 3xy squared y less xy squared. X alpha y squared. Okay, so that's exactly the same, hopefully. And hopefully it will equal 2/9, right? Because we stored, right, both of these have the same value for x and y, so if they're equivalent, then they'll be equivalent. Oh, and I got 11 over 45. Rats. Let me make sure I typed it in correctly. Oh, you know what? I put minus 2x on the top, right? Y'all with me? I typed in my numerator wrong. So I can fix it easily. I don't have to retype. I'm just going to go up there and I'm going to hit enter. All right, and it's the minus 2. I want this to be, can I just hop up there? Yeah. I want that to be 2y. So alpha y. So you try not to get too frustrated because this is a lot of typing. It's very tedious. But we want, we want to make sure we get the right answer. Okay, and now I've got 2/15. Okay, so let me make sure I got the bottom right. Oh lordy. Okay, my third, this is a record. 3 mistakes on 1 page. It's probably not a record, but do you see here I typed in, I'm going to hit and go up there, and see I've got 3x squared y plus xy squared. Oh, that is true. That's what that's supposed to be. 5xy minus 6x minus, oh no, it's just supposed to be 2y. It's the same spot. I am struggling with this spot. So I'm going to delete that x. Okay, so 5xy minus 6x minus 2y all over 3x squared y plus, and this is kind of why, like this is great, but sometimes you're better, it's just, you might as well just solve it, all right? Save yourself some time. There we go, 2/9. So we did do it right, okay? We did do it correctly. Our original answer was the same, so you just store 2 values. Right, so what did we did? We did 3 store x, right? And then we did 6, and you can pick any number greater than 2. All right, well, now that we've been practicing with our, greater than 2. And then 6 store y. Okay? And you can always 2 check. That's how we check our answers. All right, very good. So we'll go ahead and stop there because that's the end of that page.